Good morning. Welcome to Forex in Four. Today is Monday, August 22nd, 2011. Not really sure what's going on in the markets today. A little bit of choppy action happening. But what we're looking at right here is we're looking at a price of gold on a 15-minute chart. You can see that gold just keeps making new all-time highs here. All right, up to as high as looks like about 1895 before pulling back some. Now we do have equity futures higher here in the U.S. We have equity markets higher in the Eurozone. All right, so it looks like we've made it through the weekend without any major bumps in the road. So things appear to be in a little bit of risk-taking mode. And I just want to take a quick peek at the euro here. Okay, you can see euro was down a little bit and just bouncing back a little bit higher right now. All right, we're still just above that 144 level. Now, over the weekend, there was an interview with Angela Merkel of Germany, and she's still saying that she's not in favor of euro bonds. So euro bonds have sort of been the grand solution that the market's sort of kind of hoping for, because if you think about it, with all the debt problems that they have going on over there, that it would make it easier for these PIGS countries to be able to service the debt. The problem is that Germany doesn't want to be on the hook for these guys, especially if it bails them out, and there's no mechanism to enforce fiscal responsibility. So right now the euro bonds seems to be off the table as of right now. But everyone's starting to come around and say the right things. It's just a question of how much further they can move, and if they can withstand these attacks on the bonds and on the banks in these countries. So we're gonna have to see, but I think the short sale ban is still in effect on some of these European bourses. So euro right now is just sort of trading around that 144 level. Now later this week for Eurozone, okay, we've got German economic survey sentiments due out tomorrow. All right, we've got consumer confidence in the Eurozone also coming out tomorrow on was it Wednesday. There's the German IFO business climate current assessment surveys coming out. Okay, and then lastly we have German retail sales and Eurozone money supply on Friday. So not a huge week of news coming out of the Eurozone, so keep an eye on this debt crisis. Now obviously the big news this week is going to be on Friday here in the US. All right, not only are we going to be releasing GDP numbers, which are expected to be revised lower, all right, but we've got Bernanke speaking at Jackson Hole at this the annual meeting that they have there. So everyone's expecting right now that perhaps he's going to embark on QE3 at this meeting, or at least set the stage for it. And this is probably something that's the market's hoping for. And if you think about what's going on right now, you have these other currencies sort of middling around, with euro at 144 despite all the problems they have there. And I think one of the reasons for the euro trading at these levels is because people think Bernanke is going to come in with QE3, all right, and that's going to help weaken the dollar, which is going to offset some of this euro weakness. So we're going to have to see what happens there. But that's one of the reasons why gold keeps cranking higher. All right, and I also want to take a look at dollar yen here. Okay, you can see on Friday, dollar yen made a new all-time high versus USD. So USD yen is going down, but you can see here we sat up just on that daily S1 pivot support at about 75.96, I think, so just below 76. So Japan came out and they increased the talk and the rhetoric about further monetary intervention, but right now I think they don't want to do anything ahead of Bernanke and QE3, or the potential of QE3, because again, this could be all for naught. Now we know that they intervened in the currency just recently in Japan right here, okay, and you can see that the effect is negative. So it's they're not necessarily at this point trying to weaken the yen. They're just trying to slow the rate at which it's strengthening. So that's really all they can do. And the other place that we're talking about intervention is in in Switzerland. All right, we talk about the Swiss franc, and the Swiss franc is actually it's been weakening a little bit from the highs just above parity here with the euro. All right, but you can see that the Swiss would like to would love to intervene in the currency. So now there's talk that they're going going to go ahead with that the currency peg and the target price, and they're going to maybe there's talk that it's going to be at 120 versus euro. So we'll have to see. So right now we're at 113. All right, we'll see what happens if they come out with the 120 peg. Now, lost in the shuffle and all of this is in the UK is the pound. Of course, I mentioned last week the pound's been doing higher. We hit this 166 level. All right, we've got some GDP news coming out in the UK on Friday, as well as a whole host of other economic data for the UK. So that's going to give us an idea of what the economy is doing there, and right now they're sort of torn between does the Bank of England include further monetary stimulus despite all the inflation, or is the economy growing at a good enough clip that they can say, all right, we can hold back on it. So we're going to have to keep an eye on the pound. And some other news we have in the US prior to Friday's releases. We have new home sales which will be out on Tuesday, which we're going to have to see how those come in, but home sales is obviously a big component of economic activity here in the U.S. Because that's one of the markets right now that's been dragging on the economy. All right, we're also going to have on Wednesday U.S. Durable goods orders. All right, and the house price index, that's coming out as well. All right, and then lastly on Thursday we get the initial jobless claims again, which again are expected to be about 400,000. But the big news this week is really going to be this Bernanke speech on Friday to see what's happening. All right, right now we have just to show you the commodity currencies. Okay, we have Aussie moving a bit higher here. People putting on a little bit of risk trades. All right, same thing with the Kiwi as well. Not a ton of news going on out there. Although in New Zealand tomorrow they've got their 2-year RBNZ inflation expectation report. So that's just going to give you an idea of where they think inflation is going to be, which means it could give you a hint about what they're thinking they may want to do with the currency. But right now, I don't think anybody's looking to do anything from a central bank perspective, especially trying to raise rates with this uncertain global economic climate out there, regardless of what the inflation is. I mean, people can put up with a quarter or two of inflation if that means that the bank can sit tight. So that's really what we're looking at today. We've got U.S. stock futures higher. Gold is pulling back a little bit, so it looks like we're in for a little bit of risk taking today. Also wanted to mention, it looks like Gaddafi is done in Libya. All right, I know they're giving that a lot of press today. It's a big political story, but frankly, it doesn't really affect the economy much. It's had a little bit of an effect on Brent crude, meaning the price has gone down there as people think that, all right, once he's gone, supply will come back on the market, but that's still a ways away, so I'm not quite ready to jump into that oil trade yet. And that's really about it today. So we got the interventions, Switzerland and Japan. Keep an eye on those, although I don't think anything's going to happen before Friday. And then Friday's GDP numbers and Bernanke and QE3. So that's what I've got, guys. Good trading to all.